As we're getting into sports, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. You think you know your stuff? Get into the winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get a game of blackjack or poker run by with one of our over 150 slot games they have. Head to the website today and use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Code BLEAV, capital BLEAV. Did you guys watch AEW? Did we get the numbers yet, Joe? I don't know what the numbers are.
Not yet.
It's a go-home show. Not yet.
Wow,
it's gotta be up.
It's pretty late for it not to be out.
No, it should be up. Go to Brandon Thurston or Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, I'm on Thurston's Patreon. Let's see here.
No, just go to his Twitter.
Oh, okay. So it's 698,000. No quarter hours yet, though.
Okay.
Wow, that's less than last week. A little bit less, right?
Was last week 700? What was last week?
703.
Yes.
Yeah, they're right around 7. Yeah, they've. You know what? It's funny is like over the course of like 4 months or so, or a 4 to 6 month period, they lose like 100,000 fans, and then it kind of stagnates. And then they lose for a few months, and then they lose another 100,000 fans, and then it stagnates. Well, they're in the process now. They've gone from they were drawing like a year ago, over a year ago, they were drawing close to 900. Like that was the baseline. Then like 6 months later, it was like 800, and now the baseline is all the way down to like 700, and they're just up and down over that baseline. Like, and it's like. And then we'll talk about some of the problems and the reasons that they. I wish you had the quarter hours here because I just guarantee you I can tell you what they're going to say. So it's funny too that the Mark podcasters were putting this show over huge. Like this was a great show, okay? Right. And like I said, intention wise and like what they were trying to accomplish, it wasn't bad. But the execution, like I said, there's always just something. All right, let's get to it. So we'll talk about this. So they do the contract signing with Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné to start the show. Moné played to the crowd. They boo her because she's just trying. At least she's trying to be heelish now,
right? But she's embraced it, calling them losers and all that.
Well, plus she's being ridiculously over the top doing it too, though.
Right.
Okay, which isn't necessary because they were booing you when you weren't being as over the top, you know. So I just don't like her. It's kind of fascinating that everybody thought, like, you know, what happened here with her? She was supposed to be a game changer, big signing, and then they got her, and like within like 6 weeks, she was getting booed.
She's naturally abrasive,
or just she wasn't booked very well. So,
well, not only that. Look at all
your
Mike.
Look at all the plethora of stars they brought in.
There's no real plan of what they're going to do. Like
too many to mention. Okay, and it's almost like where careers go to wallow. You know, I mean, from the Bryan Danielson to Edge to, you know, Monet to everybody that they've brought in, they're like, they haven't really done anything with them.
It's like if you're a new character from, like, if you're coming in, okay, and like you want to bring somebody in hot, let's start this off hot. And everything. It's like regardless of how hot they want to bring him, within 3 weeks, just let it be known you're gonna be in the ring with Lee Moriarty. Okay, and it seems like that's like every guy they bring in is like in short time they're wrestling Lee Moriarty, and it's like, why is he wrestling Lee Moriarty? I want to see this guy. I don't want to see this guy wrestle Lee Moriarty.
Okada, Roosh, Vikingo. It doesn't matter who they bring in, they somehow fumble it. Right. They fumble the ball.
Yeah. So Baker, Shivani noted that Baker and Monet agreed to no physicality.
Right.
Monet played to the crowd, which responded, and she said she will force Baker to tap out. Baker's the past, while she's the future, and she signed the contract. Then Baker recalled Monet sitting in the crowd using crutches while watching her lashes all in, and Baker said before there was a CO, there was a DMD. And Monet said the fans like Baker because they see themselves in her. A loser. A shut champ broke out. And these fans, you know, I want to make a comment. The fans today are you can't argue with me. The fans today, back when they were 20 years ago, the fans are infinitely worse than they were back in the day. These idiots don't understand that, like, they're just coming to the show to cuss like truck drivers,
right? And
you know, and WWE's like, you will edit it out. We'll mute everything, but the fans at AEW think that that's cool, and we'll go like they think foul language is like cool, but it comes across as cheap heat. So Monet called the fans rude and told them to be quiet because he paid to see her. And Monet said this is Baker's dream match, and said Monet said she inspired Baker to be a wrestler and questioned whether she was really all in. The Monet boasted that she's been putting women's wrestling on the map and said that's all in. Monet said Baker doesn't have the guts to go all in like her, will never be her, nor will she beat her on Sunday. And Baker said she has the guts, the heart, and the Baker referred to herself as a gold standard, and she said Monet was one of 4, whereas she is one of 1. Baker said she is the best on the block. Baker said she admired Monet and wanted to be her. And Baker, I don't know why she would say that. Baker said Monet walked so girls like her could run. And Baker said Monet made a difference, but the person she was no longer exists. Baker said Monet is a smug, arrogant, cares more about being the highest paid female than being a role model. And Baker said she doesn't know where that Monet went, but she hopes she finds her. And Baker said that's the girl she wants to be able to say she beat. Then Baker stood up and told Monet to relax. And Baker said she would follow the rules they agreed to and wouldn't hit her. But she's getting on my nerves, Baker said, before clunking Camille over the head with the microphone. Then Baker tossed the contract folder to Monet, then slammed Camille's head on the table. Then Baker hopped onto the table and dove onto Camille, who was sitting at this point in Monet's lap, and they fell backwards on the chair over the table. The way I'm describing it gives you no justice as how atrocious this segment ended with the physicality. This was just very poorly thought out. And very poorly executed at the end, even though the verbiage was getting a good reaction from the crowd, and the ending was like, ugh. What did you think of this?
The crowd was super hot. I read somewhere that it was a sellout, like 4,000 people. That's what they should be running, 4,000 seats.
It was set up for 4,000 because you could tell like some of the things were blocked off. They sold all the seats that they
were really hot, like European crowds usually are. The only thing I didn't like about this thing, and to me it was the most important thing, was the ending. And I'll tell you why. Number one, you totally punked out Camille. She's supposed to be her bodyguard.
Yeah. Why was she getting hot at her there? Like she was just standing there the whole time. And then,
well, no, she got hot because she couldn't hit Monet, so she hit her instead, right? But I mean, you're not much of a bodyguard, and plus she's way bigger than her. If Britt Baker can basically,
slammed her head in the table. It was like she was manhandling her.
Yeah, she punked her really bad, which really hurts her aura. Mm-hmm. And then she somehow landed on Monet, who was sitting down, and she threw like a baby planche on them. And I'm really surprised Monet didn't get hurt in this encounter. Right. She could have really gotten hurt. She
could have felt like, it was very awkward.
They felt all awkward.
Right.
It wasn't even spectacular. It was kind of funny looking.
It's clumsy.
It was very amateurish looking. And it was like, wow, you had something going good here. The people were into it. It was hot. And then you ended it like this.
Yeah. That's the theme of this show.
And bro, straight up, if you don't know this by now and you're new to listening to us, oh, look at the old man yelling. We could give, we're stating, not hating. Look at it for what it is instead of what you want it to be. This was not. This was poorly executed at the end.
Disco, what did you said you had some ideas and predictions about the quarter hours. Do you want to give them out before I show them to you, or just take a look?
Well, no, I was going to say that I thought there was, I'm going to point, show me do you have the quarter hours?
Yeah, they just dropped.
Okay, pull it up. Because I think because they made a huge error here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you where they made the error. Okay. 8:45. We'll get there because it's going to be the next thing we're going to talk about. So when I get there, I'll talk about it. But but the show tailed off at the end, like of course I knew it would. So it always does. It's weird, but both shows did this week though. So
bro, Renee, the end got 564. The run up. Yeah. Well, but usually that's the highest rated part of the show.
Yeah. Well, that might be computing. After like the first 15 minutes after the show's gone to the next show. I don't know how they calculate that. Because it's a quarter hour. So that quarter is actually representing like 10:00. I guess it is representing 10:09. But I wonder if the quarter is being computed at 10:15 because they're doing so. I'm just wondering if they're. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, Joe, email Brandon Thurston and ask him that. Say when you do this the quarter, is that last number Even though it says it went off at 10:09, was that the number at 10:09 or is that the 564 the number at 10:15?
Yeah.
If you're getting the quarters. Okay.
I knew for sure, bro, without looking at this, and maybe I, should have said it before you put it up, but I wasn't. I knew for sure that the last segment would not do good because I thought it was brutal.
Okay, so Chris Jericho is getting what people are claiming online is go away heat, and they want him to retire, right? So they go to Renee Paquette in the back. Bro, this is where Chris is just so smart, okay? They go to the back. They're just standing there, and the crowd's kind of like buzzing a little bit, booing and stuff, and Jericho doesn't say a word, and they're just not saying anything, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Hi, guys," and they get boo. It's just really good veteran timing. And a very simplistic little spot like that, like the guy knows, he still knows what he's doing, and that's why he's still over, The misconceptions. What does it say here?
So he spoke with Scott Fishman. Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons is I've never been heard. I've been here since day one on all the shows by necessity, not because I demand TV time. My boss wants to put me in the show and do these segments and draw the ratings I draw. I'd say 80% of the time or more ratings go up when I'm on TV. That's another misconception. They have this go away heat. Go look at ratings, and I'm in one of the highest rated segments every week, and once in a while you do lose, but that's the law of averages. I don't know. I just think there are a lot of angry people that are unhappy I'm still doing this at a high level. Only 5 years in, and here we are on the verge of this gigantic television deal that will change the course of wrestling history the same way we did it in 2019, the same way me and Kenny Omega did it in the Tokyo Dome in 2018. Nobody will tell me what to do, especially wrestling fans who are very fickle anyway. People are going to react the way they're going to react. It's my job to read the room, create stories and characters accordingly, doing everything I can to make AEW a better team and make the guys I work with better performers and pro wrestlers. And as a result, I'm getting better working with them as well. That's enough. So they do a promo when he's talking about his match against he said something bothered him on the flight to Cardiff, England. That got a boot too because they're in Wales. And Jericho questioned what Tommy Billington has the right to refer to himself as the Dynamite Kid. Jericho said he hoped the Hook was watching his match because he would do to Billington what he would do sevenfold to Hook it all in. So then Jericho goes and wrestles Dynamite Kid's nephew, Tommy Billington. And that's actually a good finish because Billington was going up for his headbutt, and Jericho caught him with the code breaker. So it was a good finish. And after the mic, Jericho got on the mic and called Hook a stupid. And Jericho claimed to rip Hook apart by branch if Hook was in Cardiff. And Hook made his entrance. Still has his left eye covered. Okay, doesn't even have an eye patch. He's still got the bandage on it like a schmuck. Then Hook entered the ring with nose to nose with Jericho, but Big Bill got him from behind and choked him. Yes. So next we do they're going to do by the way. So after Big Bill slammed him, they announced that Big Bill is going to take on Hook on Collision. What are the chances that Big Bill wins that match, Konnan? You're on mute, by the way.
Well, before I get to that, let me just say this. Everything Chris Jericho said in that interview, I 100% agree with. I said this before he did the learning tree thing. I thought he should go away for a little while because if you don't go away, people don't miss you. If you're always there, you can't get stale. But then the high guys got over and all that started to get over. I said, this could get old pretty quick, which it kind of has. They need to just do something where he just goes away for a little bit. That's it. He still can go in the ring. He's still one of the most creative minds in the history of wrestling. And fans are a bunch of, a lot of them. And for them to go, he's got go away heat and all this other terms that they read. I don't even know what they're talking about. Like he says, he pulls great ratings. And he was the only guy really that an AEW started. They should be thanking him that, people knew. They didn't know the Young Bucks. They didn't know Kenny Omega. They knew Cody Rhodes, but they knew him as Gold Stardust. You know what I'm saying? Like he was their first real big star.
Yeah, and after all, being in the ring with Chris does take these guys to a whole nother level. I mean, we all know that.
But if you stay in the business long enough as a babyface or whatever, people will turn on you. It's the nature of the beast. I will say this about Hook. Again, he came in. He still has this thing over his eye, very shabbily put on. It's almost like they just put it on his head. But to me, these are the things that the big differences that Disco brings up between WWE and AEW. When he got slammed, the whole thing fell off. And I was thinking, wow, this is very smart. They're just shooting the top of the head so they don't have to show the eye. But no, they showed the face. The face did not have like medication on it, like, right. Nothing. It was just normal, nothing.
It's like, why you have a bandage over your eye? Like,
right.
Right. So they do Tony Storm against Saraya, who's got Harley Cameron out there. This is a random match. I guess they put Saraya out there because they're over in the UK. Right. But they did this stupid World of Sport angle from these English guys. Joe, go to my Twitter and pull up that spot. And this was a spot. Actually, somebody had this on Twitter. They showed two guys from World of Sport doing this.
Yeah, one of them was. I used to study those tapes. One of them was like Johnny St. James or something like that. Yeah, he was great, and he did that spot so quick and effortlessly. And I've even seen Steve Regal do a version of it. This was brutal.
But it doesn't look like. I think it looks atrocious. I don't care what people say.
Well, if it's done right, it's just clever English wrestling, right? But
it's almost like a comedy spot. Like, pull this.
But I can get with it because it's very creative. But
so Becky and Bailey had done this spot previously together. So watch the difference in the execution. This exact same spot between these two different performers. Okay,
was the AEW Women's World Champion for the second time. She lost the title. She had a bit of a descent into, I don't want to say madness, but unorthodoxy. And now look at this. Tony Storm doing some of that trick, that old World of Sport style wrestling tricks. As now she wanted to shoot the single leg. And
what did you think about that?
Very well done.
By Becky and Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones looked atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what these
like you didn't try that out in the ring before you tried it out on national TV. It looks,
right. So Tony Storm wins the match after she knocked Cameron off the apron. After the match, here's Mariah ran in and hit her with the shoe. So that's two matches that we've had. They had to throw a match in there when the outro was just the guy you're wrestling on the pay-per-view runs into the ring and there's an attack.
Yeah. This thing between Tony and May, to me, has dragged. Even though Tony's been great and May has definitely upped her stock, I'm glad they're going to finally have a blow-off match to see where they go from there. It's dragged a little bit for me.
All right, so backstage, he interviewed Orange Cassidy, Willow Nightingale, and what do you think about this group? The Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Ishii are called the Conglomeration.
What a great name.
Could have done without that name.
So they have all five guys out there, and Briscoe did all the talking. And I don't know why Briscoe does all the talking in these promos. They think he's like a really good promo. I'm not with them. I'm not. They don't entertain me, to be honest with you. What do you think?
Well, they like his energy. That's what it is.
Right. All right. So here's a mistake. Pull the quarter hours up, Joe. Mm-hmm. This is the hottest angle that you have. Okay, it's Will Ospreay against MJF, bro. This is supposed to go on at the top of the 9 o'clock hour because you draw an audience at 9 o'clock. The WWE does this constantly, and they do it all the time. There's always something important or one of their better things happening at the 9 o'clock hour. They start at like 1 to 2 minutes before 9 o'clock. So when people turn it in, we have two of our draws out there. Okay, and that's how you elevate your numbers. Okay, bro, they put this thing on at 8:45, and I'm like, bro, they have no these are booking errors that anybody that's been writing the veterans that have written these shows in the past would know what you're supposed to put on here. And Tony doesn't even realize this is something you should just waited one segment later to put it on at 9 o'clock, and they don't even. I don't even think they even compute that or care about that. And it's like you're trying to draw numbers when you're in a renegotiating your TV rights deal, and you're making simple mistakes like this. It's ridiculous. But basically, Ospreay came out there dressed in that's his gear. That's one of the shirts that he sells, and he had Umbro workout pants, and he just one guy looked like a star, and the other guy didn't. Okay, MJF looked like a star. He's an all-American flag. Overdone American outfit. Ospreay says it's unusual for an Englishman to be so loved in Wales. mentioned some British references. I don't know what he's talking about. MJF's have jam-packed arenas chanted his name twice as loud as they've ever chanted for Ospreay, and MJF demonstrated it only took the kangaroo kick pose. Then MJF said he came back from injury before he was fully rehabilitated, and said he did so because he's begged by the top brass in AEW and Warner Brothers to clean up Ospreay's mess. MJF called Ospreay an arrogant little prick. Ospreay told MJ to look in the mirror if he wanted to see a prick. Ospreay said everyone giggled when they saw MJF as the AEW World Champion. Ospreay said he was laughing too, but the joke went on too long and it culminated at Wembley. Ospreay said no one talks about MJF having an epic match at All In. They talk about how two wrestlers. Ospreay claimed that Tony Khan asked him to put on a good wrestling match at last year's All In because he couldn't count on his world champion to do it. Bro, that's like that verbiage right there is so lame to me. You know, like, I don't know. So Ospreay said his match with MJF isn't just about restoring the AEW International Championship. Ospreay said it's about restoring the feeling and said that he is the feeling. MJF said he doesn't care about catering to the people because they're meaningless. And MJF said the only thing he cares about is what Americans do best. We win. MJF recalled Tony Khan telling him the company would be safe in Ospreay's hands while he was at injury. But MJF asked Ospreay who he is. MJF said everyone knows who MJF is and everyone loves him. And MJF said everyone agrees that he's the best pro wrestler and wondered who told Ospreay he was the best in the world. MJF mocked the idea of the fans saying it and said the fans know nothing about pro wrestling. And MJF said he knows that's true because the fans like Ospreay's matches. MJF said that when they talk about his generation of pro wrestling, he will be the ace and Ospreay will be second. And MJF said he comes from the only country in the world that matters. MJF said the Tiger Driver is the only move Ospreay has that can beat him, but Ospreay isn't man enough to pull the trigger. Then MJF said Ospreay and his fans can feel all they want, but it's the facts, and facts don't care about the feelings. It's the Ben Shapiro line he took. Ospreay said record books can be rewritten, but you can't rewrite how people feel. And Ospreay said MJF has never inspired anyone to do this. Ospreay said people in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, the United States all say he's the best in the world. Ospreay said it took MJF 4 years to win over the fans, where it only took him 4 beats. Ospreay said the fans used to love MJF, they don't love him anymore, and MJF got fired up and said they loved him until Ospreay showed up and ruined it. MJF said Ospreay's a great husband and father, and he said that in every way he fell short of being the face of AEW, but Ospreay stepped up and he did it. MJF said he had a chance to hang out with Ospreay's wife and child. Ospreay got fired up, and MJF said he was putting him over. He said Ospreay's wife was in a prior relationship and had a child, and Ospreay stepped up and raised the child as if he is his own. The MJF said he got a feeling that after the conversation he had with Ospreay's wife, the next kid she has won't be Ospreay's either. Ospreay turned around and asked Tony Schiavone if he had Tony Khan in his ear, and Ospreay asked how much the fine would be if he hit MJF. Schiavone said it was $127,000. Oh, by the way, so there's security all around the ring. Ospreay said it was worth it and then punched MJF, and the security rushed the ring and pulled them apart. Then Ospreay fought free and threw kicks at MJF until he was pulled back. MJF hit Ospreay with a Dynamite diamond ring and then took out some security guards before posing on the ropes, and MJF threw more punches at Ospreay. I'm the best in the world, MJF said before performing a brainbuster. Then MJF covered him and made his own 3 count. Then Excalibur pointed out that Ospreay was clutching his neck after taking the brainbuster, and MJF set him for the Tiger Driver, but Chris Daniels and more security entered the ring and stopped him. Ospreay bled from the forehead. Give me your description of this, what you thought, the execution. Tell me, then I'll tell you what I think.
First of all, I thought the in-ring was way, way, way too long. Mm-hmm. That's right off the bat. And I think it might have hurt a little bit what Swerve and Danielson were trying to do because they didn't leave them much time. Right. He made a lot of it's, for the local fans, it's cool because you're in Cardiff, but how about the rest of the world? They made a lot of local references I did not get. I guess it's an insult in England. Can you see what that even means, Joe?
Yeah, I think it's like, but let me see here.
Right. What is it? What do you call him?
I heard that a couple times in the thing.
I think you're a
Why, thank you.
Stupid, ridiculous, or annoying person, especially a man. But it's also the.
Oh, interesting. Call me.
Okay. So I thought it was too long. I thought Ospreay held his own for a while and was kind of outdoing MJF on the mic at the beginning, and then MJF kind of took it over again. I like the fact where MJF brought his wife and kid into it, and then he actually asked, how much is the fine? And yeah, it's like $100,000. And he was like, I'll just go for it. And then MJF got control by hitting him with the ring and the brain buster and leaving him lying there. This is the only thing to me that counts in the most important thing in any go home show or promo. They got me interested in seeing the match. I just want to see what's going to happen. I don't give about the wrestling part, what angle they're going to do, what they're going to do. That's what I have to say about this.
All right, number one, go top to bottom, because these are two of their top guys. Okay,
right.
And Ospreay, they want to be the face of the company. Number one, Ospreay needs a makeover when he's doing in rings. He looks. I'm sorry, but you're not no channel surfer, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to draw fans because your numbers are not good. There's enough people that are turning on and seeing a guy dressed like that and thinking that's a fan in the ring, and they just turn the channel. Okay, he needs to dress more stylishly, instead of dressing like a guy that's ready to go to the gym. Okay. Number two, the verbiage, like you said, was way too long, but the gist of the angle, I like the way MJF is feeding into it. Is Will Ospreay's basically trying to put over, I'm the best. I'm a Meltzer wrestler,
right?
And the Meltzer fans love me. And MJF is basically repeating, bro, none of it matters.
Right.
It's like you're not over like I am. You're not like they can think you're better like that. And he cleverly, navigates his way around that to make it without flat out just saying it, right?
Right.
Okay. So MJF, Ospreay was good on the mic here, but MJF, in my opinion, got the better of him. Okay. Right. So they start the physicality with the security guards. Okay, and this is like when I said that, like, the details are ridiculous. They fought off the security guards, but all of a sudden, dude, it's like they all just disappeared into thin air. It looked like, and then it was just Ospreay and MJF in the ring, doing some stuff. Just literally the two of them. Like, none of the security guards were like trying to crawl back in there or like acting like they hit them and they just disappeared from the scene. Like a very awkward visual based on what we saw like 30 seconds earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the details on that were not laid out very well. Like, they could have done that better. Then more security guards had to come out. Okay, it's just like I don't know. It's like I said, their execution on things is just, I don't know. That was very, like, the intention was good, the context and the verbiage was good, but it was too long, and the way the physicality worked out was just kind of like, it just didn't work like it should have. It's being overly critical. I'm not saying the segment was bad. I'm just saying that these are kind of the errors that they make on a weekly basis. It's like there's just something awkward in too many segments. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next, bro, I couldn't care less. They made a big deal out of this. So, no, actually, no. So Renee Paquette stood backstage and said that she was told there was an incident in the office that led to Hangman Page being asked to leave the building. Page showed up and said he's in the Casino Gauntlet match and will run over anyone who's in the match, and Evil Uno was passing through when Page stopped him and asked him if he knew anyone who was in the Casino Gauntlet match. Uno said he was just informed that he would be in the match, and Page grabbed a chair and hit him with it, and Page said he will run over anyone because he wants to make sure his joy, his happiness, and his dreams go up in smoke. And Page walked away with his rolling suitcase to exit the building. Just as another...
Bro, Joe.
Yeah.
Can you find that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Renee Paquette said she was just told there was an incident in the office that led to Hangman Page being asked to leave the building. Okay, if there was an incident in the office, if you want to emphasize it, bro, the guy's he should have been escorted out of the building, not just leave it up. Now you have to, like I said, they're not like they're trying to tell a story that he did something serious, but he's just was asked to leave, and we're going to catch him while he's leaving. And I'm like, I'm being nitpicky on here, but these are like details that make this show like lacking in detail compared to the other show. What do you think about that, Konnan?
Isn't it easier, Joe, just to put on YouTube the Hangman?
Yeah. What are you doing, Joe?
Uno.
Well, they don't post much from the show.
Well, just try. I bet you it's on there. Put on Adam Page at Evil Uno. Okay, so we'll come back to that.
So. Those are the little attention to details that, again, as I said before, that the difference between them and WWE, right? Like what you just mentioned. But I thought the worst part of this whole thing was when Evil Uno was talking and Adam Pearce, who's this fierce character and has done a great job of turning into this despicable guy. Bro, he hit. I could not believe how soft he hit him with the chair on the neck. I think a worm pushing a leaf would have more aggression than what I just saw. And I want Joe to show the video if you don't remember.
Right. So next we go Okada versus Claudio.
I mean, my point is for people going, whoa, what are you crying about? Bro, smash with the chair. Like Liv Morgan did to Rhea Ripley, huh?
I'm gonna get it from the show. It's not on YouTube.
All right.
All right. So next is a Claudio versus Okada, and basically, they go to a draw. I mean, the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" and stuff. This was not awesome. Okada doesn't, they're like doing nothing with this guy. I mean, the spots, like they were doing a spot where they had their hands clasped and they were kicking each other back and forth like the forearm spot.
Right.
And it's like they really weren't selling it very well. It's like, I don't know. Like Okada's stuff doesn't look as good as everybody. I'm flabbergasted that this is the guy that's like gotten the highest star ratings, of ever in Dave Meltzer. I mean, he's a solid worker, but it's like nothing sticks out about this guy at all.
Okay, here it is, Disco. Go ahead, Joe. Thanks.
Informed that earlier today there was some sort of altercation in the office, and Hangman Adam Page has been asked to leave the building for them. Actually, trying to get word with him. Hangman, what happened?
I did what I had to do, and Sunday at All In, I am in the Casino Gauntlet, and understand me when I say that if you are in this match, if you stand between me and our world champion, I will run you over. Actually, matter of fact, Uno, come here.
Guy just happened to be walking by in his promo.
Hey, what's up, Hanger? You've heard about the Casino Gauntlet?
Oh, at Wembley, yeah, the Sunday, of course.
Do you know anyone in the match?
Matter of fact, I just spoke to Christopher Daniels, and Evil Uno is in the Casino Gauntlet. I'm so excited, Renee. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Evil Uno is going
to... Get back here. Like I said, I don't care who you are. If you are in my way, I will run you over.
Well,
because there is nothing that I want more out of this life.
That's cool. I just wanted to see the chair thing.
Yeah, why did he just smack him in the back with it? It would have been a better visual, made more sound.
Because, I just thought that was so weak. Right. Obviously, the worm pushing the leaf was overdoing it a little bit, but that's just a weak chair shot. Should just smashed him in the back and then put the chair to him,
Right. So the Okada and Claudio go to a 20-minute draw. Crowd chant. Well, let me finish. So this is after. Okay, so crowd chanted for 5 more minutes, and Jack Perry and the Bucks walked out, and he congratulated him on a tremendous match. And Matthew asked the crowd if they wanted 5 more minutes, and they cheered. But Matthew said that wouldn't be happening because the contract that was signed for the match, so Okada had to wrestle 20, not 25. Then Matthew said that he and Nicholas are EVPs and are sticklers for the rules. And Matthew said they didn't want to do it, but they would physically remove Castagnoli from the ring if he didn't leave. This was tumbleweeds surrounded by crickets, in my opinion, for the post-match angle. What did you think of this?
Well, what's funny is I think, people that do like good wrestling matches tuned in to see it because it went up from the previous segment, right? Not by much, but it went up. But by the end of the match, it had gone down, right? And I'm just like you. I'm flabbergasted because Okada is one of the guys that I really, really liked after Nakamura left. And Claudio can wrestle that style, like that physical Japanese style. I did not see it here. And I can't believe that one guy's making $4 million and the other guy, I doubt, is making $1 million. But that's what happens in promotional wars. You get winners, and one of them is Okada.
Yeah. So then we go to there's a Darby Allin. Oh,
bro,
so
think about that. Think about that. That guy, no jealous, no shade, no nothing. Okada, with what they've been doing with him, was just absolutely nothing, is making $4 million.
Right. So they do a Darby and FTR against the Bucks and Nick and Jack Perry. 6-man FTR hit the Shatter Machine on Perry. Hardwood suplex Matthew. Then Wheeler followed with the top rope splash. And Legal Man Allen hit the coffin drop for the pin. After the match, the Acclaim came out with Billy Gunn. And Caster played the crowd and called FTR court jesters. So the Young Bucks were his two favorite princesses. Caster once again claimed to be the best wrestler alive while calling Bowens the Scissor King. Caster said the belts would come home with All In. Bowens said he and Caster have nothing left to prove. And he said FTR and the Bucks can't beat the Acclaimed. Bowens said he and Caster would fight until their next AEW Tag Team Champion. What did you think about this post-match angle? Did it get you excited for anything these guys are doing?
You know, all the other matches made me want to see the match except this one. This did nothing to make me want to see the match. I think the Acclaim, they said nothing on the mic that made me wanted to see the match either. The other guys got no rebuttal. They just basically the guy was just rapping with no music. Not interested. They did not do a good job on this one to make me interested.
So I missed this. Joe, find this interview with Ospreay in the back and Bryan Danielson, because if I'm reading this correctly, it says
not much of an interview.
Well, but here's a detail I want to talk. We're talking about attention to detail, right? Backstage, Renee Paquette stood in front of a bloody Will Ospreay.
Right.
So, bro, he got beat up 45 minutes earlier. Is he still bleeding? Like they didn't put a band. It's like, am I reading that correct? Was he blood? Was he still like the blood on his head and everything?
I guess during the commercial break, MJF came in and beat him up again.
Bro, think about that. Okay, this is attention to details. 45 minutes later, you've been cut.
Yeah.
You're going to dress the wound, clean it off, put it 45 minutes
he's
later.
He's still bleeding.
So he's bleeding, and Paquette asked Ospreay what his status is for All In. And Bryan Danielson in the picture and told Ospreay, do it. That would be a good spot for
you know what he meant, right?
No.
He meant use the Tiger Driver.
Oh, the Tiger Driver.
Yeah. And they've been playing with that and playing with it. He finally does it. When he finally does it, the place is gonna pop. I don't know, it might be at All In.
Okay. All right. So what was he gonna tell? So yeah, so it's still the attention to detail on the show is just very amateurish. So Nigel McGuinness is in the ring for the final segment, and supposedly Nigel and Daniel has heat with Daniel Bryan. So he was given an over-the-top introduction to Swerve. Swerve is going full heat. So Swerve, just like the snap of a finger because they need him to, is all of a sudden a heel again. Right? Swerve said he's the most dangerous man in AEW because of the pain he endures and inflicts. And Swerve ran through a list of people he's defeated. And Swerve spoke about doing things with Danielson to make sure he's not capable of returning. Swerve brought up the possibility of Danielson finding his fighting spirit and doing an independent wrestling show in Washington. Swerve said he would be there to beat him down. I don't know what, bro. They're doing these angles on these indie shows. It makes you look like it's dragging. It makes you look like an indie show when you're showing angles from indie shows. Okay. Swerve brought up Danielson using a mask and an alias in Mexico, but he said he would still be there to beat him down. And Swerve said maybe we'll get to the point where Danielson decides to have a sit down with his family about getting back in the ring. Bryan Danielson's music played, and he ran to the ring. And Danielson ducked a close and then hit Swerve with a knee, and then Swerve ended up in the ring. By the way, Danielson looked like he raided Kyle O'Reilly's closet with the clothes he was wearing. Okay, is that a good line by me, Konnan? Would you agree with that?
100%.
Danielson said he doesn't come out and talk about himself for 20 minutes every week. He said he knows who he is. He said he's the best wrestler in the world. He said out loud, they censored it. And Danielson Swerve was talking about beating him, retirement, and crippling him in front of his daughter. Daniel spoke of doing it for the fans and paid his name for the last 25 years and the peers he traveled with. Daniel said if Swerve thinks he's going to cripple him, have to do more than that because he will leave it all in the ring. Excalibur said that's what Jeff Jarrett and the world wanted to see, the fire in Danielson's eyes. And Danielson said the only thing left is whether he can beat Swerve for the championship, and the fans chanted yes. And then Danielson said the fans know the answer, and so does Swerve. And Danielson dropped the mic and led more yes chants. Yeah, this is a good fire from Danielson. Good verbiage from Swerve.
And I kept thinking, this sucks, man. How are you going to do an angle and Bryan Danielson isn't even there? And I even thought to myself, maybe Danielson said, hey, I don't want to travel all the way to Cardiff just for running. But then he came out.
They're over there for All In anyway. They're
okay.
over.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, they all flew over to the UK to do press and everything. So, but yeah, this is like I said, they furthered a lot of the angles. Execution was troublesome on some of them, but You know, I mean, got me more interested in a couple of the matches, not more interested in some of the others. What about you?
Well, I thought this is the best job I've ever seen them do in a go home show, because what they did is they just concentrated on the big matches. Monet and the other, and Britt, MJF and Ospreay, Danielson and Strickland, and all three of them to me got more interesting after this. Terrible job with the tag team ones. I thought the Claim did nothing to make me interested in seeing who are they even facing at All In. Which are the two teams? The FTR.
I don't even know.
I think it's FTR. Yeah, FTR.
Yeah, FTR and the Bucks.
It's the Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaim.
Yeah, not interested. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was better than most of their go home show, but I just think the product is not hot right now, and the numbers are proving it.
All right, so that's been our AEW review.
You want to see this from backstage or not?
What is this?
Ospreay and
yeah. Pull it up because I missed it. Said he was still he'd been beat up 45 minutes earlier. So let's see what he looks like.
Excuse me, Will.
Oh, for I mean, come on, dude. The guy. This is 45 minutes after the attack.
I saw.
They still haven't.
Look at me.
They still haven't wiped. Okay, that's enough. I just want to see what he looks like, Joe.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.